I've just dropped my daughter off to nursery. I'm picking her up at 1 o'clock. It is currently 8:45. So we've got, give or take, 4 hours now of the early shift. And it's been a long time since I've worked this early. So we're gonna see how we do. How's the breakfast shift looking these days? Is it perhaps a secret gold mine? I mean, probably not, but I have had some very good mornings in the past. So let's see. We are starting the shift off with a double from McDonald's, the one in town. I've just battled my way through school run traffic, kind of in the clearing now, heading towards town where it isn't particularly busy in the morning. So we are about 5 minutes away from McDonald's, and together I think this order's paying about £8 for the two. Not a huge amount of distance, seems a reasonably good start to the shift. This McDonald's, the one in town, I used to absolutely hate. Not only because parking's quite tricky, but they were notoriously slow and, quite honestly, most of the time quite rude. But last few times I've been there, they've not been too bad, and they're normally pretty quiet at this time. All right, we are approaching McDonald's. I'm not even going to try and park on this road. There are a few spaces, but generally here it's a safer bet just to go into the Sainsbury's car park around this corner and just walk down. So we're going to do that. All right, we are good to go. Yeah, dare I say it, it seems like McDonald's across the board are improving, and not in just like particular restaurants now. At least in Taunton, all three are way better than they used to be. If I think back to my last 5 like really long waits in restaurants, none of them are McDonald's. Anyway, customer number 1, 2 minutes away, 1.2 miles. Won't take long to get there. And then the customer after is like 1.5 miles, 2 miles max from there. So not too bad. £8, decent start. Don't think we're due any rain or anything this morning. It's just gonna be this overcast, grey, sort of mildly chilly. But to be honest, that's absolutely fine because we did have a pretty decent summer in this country. Drop off 1 done. Now we go to drop off number 2, which is 1.9 miles. So I was pretty bang on with my prediction. Yeah, we're still dealing with a little bit of the morning rush hour traffic, which is a shame. Like I said, hopefully after this order's finished, most of this will die down. Oh, question for anyone out there who does Uber Eats, by the way. Have you noticed the Uber navigation playing up a bit lately? I've driven nearly a mile since the start of this trip, and the estimates at the bottom of the screen where it says the time and the distance left hasn't updated. That freezes. The map still works fine. Oh, it's just updated. It kind of updates randomly, like every few minutes it will suddenly update. Now it says 5 minutes 1.3. It's just gone from 7 minutes 1.9. It's not like a massive deal, it's just a little bit annoying because I do use the Uber navigation, and if I'm going somewhere I'm unfamiliar with, it is actually quite handy to have that information be accurate. Something I've noticed, I'm on an iPhone, if it's like an iOS bug or something, but I'd be interested to know if you're experiencing the same glitch. All right, once we get through this traffic, we'll get the second order dropped off. We'll see how the rest of the morning goes. Okay, finally done with that McDonald's double, which took way longer than I predicted. That trip netted us £7.97, and it took me about 45 minutes from the moment I accepted it, which was before I started filming the video. Yeah, school traffic, man. It's not the one. Anyway, we're still on with Uber. We'll go on Deliveroo, which is not busy. That's to be expected on a Tuesday morning. So I think what I'll do, I'll keep the Uber app open because of those stupid trip radar things that come in, and you've got to try and match with it as quickly as possible. But I'll keep Deliveroo open in the background as well. And hopefully it's not too long for something else to come in. About 5 or 6 minutes of waiting, but we got ourselves a cheeky little order from Tesco, one of the old whoosh jobs, and paying, I think it was £4.40. And we should be able to get this one done significantly quicker than the last one. Yeah, it came up as a trip radar offer, which has only recently been a thing in Taunton. It's only just rolled out, this whole trip radar thing. But for those of you who don't know what it is, it's normally, when it's quieter, jobs will actually get sent to multiple drivers as a trip radar offer, and then it waits to see how many of you want it, and then it decides who it gives it to based on God knows what. I suspect that they are offering the same trip to different drivers at different prices, and they give it to whoever accepted it with the lowest price. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't see what other benefit they would gain from such a system. And would you look at that, as quickly as that one came in, Deliveroo has just given me a Morrison's, which is paying £1 extra. And I'm going to take instead. I'm going to drop this Tesco and go for this one, because it isn't going to take, it might take a tiny bit longer, it's going a little bit further, but it doesn't feel particularly busy right now. So I'm just going to be taking the trips that pay me the most and keep me busy for the longest. No dramas there. Ready on the side for me. And we've now got a 1.9 mile, 7-minute drive to the customer for over a £5, so that is not too shabby. This trip should help make up for the traffic that we ran into on that McDonald's double, which was unfortunate. When I took it, it looked to be a decent little trip to start the shift with, but I didn't really account for the fact that I was going to be delivering in areas with a lot of school traffic, so ended up not being the best earner really for the time it took, but hey, these things happen and we can try and make up for it now over the next 3-ish hours we've got left. Right, back on with Uber and Deliveroo. We need a few more orders like that one, I think. Let's see if we can go and hunt them down. All right, next trip is in. Didn't take too long to come through, a few minutes, just as I was heading back into town. We're going to Greg's. Not my favourite pickup, they're not the quickest. Depends what the customer's ordered, to be honest. But I think they try and make an effort to keep things hot for delivery orders, so often they'll, if it's things that cook in like 3 minutes, they'll just put it in the oven when you get there. So there can be a bit of a wait. We'll see. I'm not sure what this customer's ordered, I haven't looked yet, but hopefully it's a quick one, because this is only paying £3.37. It's a very local delivery. We're not going far. Yeah, I had to wait 4 or 5 minutes. Corned beef bakes were still in the oven. Nothing you can do about it, is there? But luckily this customer is only 1 mile away, and we're getting a Deliveroo in, which if it's close by, we can do straight after. Morrison's, £5.62. Beautiful. So we've got a much better order lined up after this one as well. I think the key to having a decent morning shift is ultimately just not having any dead time, and being on more than one app is kind of the only way you're gonna get close to that, if it's even possible at all. There we go, I can see the one we want. All right. Let's grab your pin, please.
6467.
67?
Yep.
Yeah, nice one. Thank you, bud. It's lovely to get a thank you from a customer, isn't it? I mean, I know saying thank you is really expensive and not many people can afford it, but it riles me up, man. You answer the door and the customer just sort of staring at you like, you give them their order, they don't say thank you. They say, can I have your PIN please? 6467. No thank you, no goodbye, nothing. Is it really that difficult just to have basic manners? I know it shouldn't rile me up, but it just does. Like, manners cost nothing. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Let's get to Morrison's. Let's get this next one done, because we are roughly about at the halfway point, nearly at the halfway point of this breakfast shift, and I feel like we've still got some making up to do. That's 2 out of 2 for Morrison's today, being ready when I get there. 2.8 miles, 9 minutes, not too bad. And thankfully now, yeah, the morning rush is well and truly over. The roads are, for the most part, free flowing now. Yeah, so it's 10:30 now. We're about halfway through the shift then, because at about 12:30, if I'm not on a job, I'll be logging off at that point, because I've got to get to nursery for 1 o'clock. You can't really risk taking a job and then it getting held up or whatever. So yeah, it's one of those things with this kind of job, when you don't know how long each job is going to take, and you can't predict traffic and potential roadblocks that get in your way, issues that crop up during your journey. You've got to plan ahead and leave a bit of leeway if you've got appointments or things to do during the day. So yeah, 12:30 is going to have to be my cut-off point. So we've got 2 hours essentially to just crack on, make what we can. All right, Morrison's done. I just want those jobs over and over. Just give me nice £5 Morrison's deliveries. All right, not busy Deliveroo, Uber. There's that heat map looking. The only red zone is Sainsbury's by the motorway, which I'm fairly close to already. So I might sit here for a few minutes, see if anything from there comes in. If not, we'll head back into town. All right, I think we did well actually not to move from that spot and wait for a few minutes, because we've just nabbed a suspiciously well-paying McDonald's delivery from the one on the outskirts, paying £7 going 3.5 miles, which seems a little bit over what Uber would normally offer for this trip, but I mean, it looks legit. It's a breakfast order. There's still 15 minutes of breakfast left at McDonald's. So, but yeah, this is just what we needed. Decent paying order that shouldn't take too long to do, seeing as we've got less than 2 hours really of delivering left. And I had a little look at my earnings. We're on like £21 or something. So just over £10 an hour before expenses, which isn't great. And the annoying thing is, I've not even been that quiet, right? I've had a few minutes of dead time, but honestly not much at all. I consider a reasonably good hourly rate before expenses to be £15, right? Because then by the time you take your expenses off, you're left with about the national living wage, which is £13 something, I think. I think it's £13 something. And to be honest, most days, especially when I do a full day and I include the evening, I do make that. It's a little bit unfair to judge a morning shift completely on its own, because I don't think anybody would ever recommend just doing mornings. That said, there is still the potential we can improve it. We're probably not going to hit that 15 per hour average by the end of the shift, because I'd need to earn £60 by the time I go and pick my daughter up, which is not going to happen. But if we can get to maybe 50, still a bit of wishful thinking there, but that would be better. Anyway, here we are at Mackie D's.
Oh, I've got a noisy car.
All right, 9 minutes, 2.5 miles. That isn't too bad, is it? For £7, and the order was ready, and I got it straight away. One thing I have just clocked actually, you know that weird Uber Eats thing that we covered in a video before, where you get a double that's paying exactly £14, and you can cancel one of them and still get exactly half of that. You still get 7. I feel like this order, because it's paying really well, £7 for 3.5 miles, feels like this is part of that thing where, had it turned into a double, it would have been £14, and they both just pay exactly £7 for some reason. Because that's still happening. You still get a lot of these doubles for £14, and one of the drops will be really close, one will be really far away, and you can just drop that second delivery, take the first one, get it done nice and fast, and you get the £7. Not complaining, obviously. I just find it really odd, and it's been a thing for a while now. All right, very nice one. Cheers, mate. And you, mate. There we go, £7 for that. Not too shabby. And the issue is now we are quite far out of the centre, so back we go. We've got about an hour and a half left. All right, we got a little bit fortunate. I've just filled up with petrol at this Asda, and the McDonald's here has immediately given me an order, which is nice, on Deliveroo, £4 something. Small wait just for the driver in front of me to get their 2 orders, and then I got mine, but it's fine. Even instant pickups at this point aren't going to make today suddenly like massively more profitable. Do you know what I mean? 1.7 miles, 6 minutes to this customer, and it is 20 past 11. So we're going to have just over an hour of delivering to go once this one's dropped. Beginning to get close to that like lunch. People start thinking about lunch around 11:30. So might get a couple of lunch orders in. Would you look at that? We are getting an order on Uber from Somerset Bakehouse, which is right next to this customer's house for this McDonald's. So gonna nab that. That's £5.14 in the bag after this one. All right, so Somerset Bakehouse is literally just there, and we are delivering. literally this next right. Thank you very much. Cheers. Get ourselves on the road. Get this one done. We got to maximise the time we got left now as best we can. This customer is less than 2 miles away, 1.8 miles. Uber's saying 6 minutes, so that's going to give us 54 minutes-ish. I reckon if I can get another 3 orders done, I'll feel all right. I feel like we've done okay. All right, that McDonald's and Somerset Bakehouse back to back. Done. Delivery is still on, not busy. I haven't seen it tick up to even moderate once this morning. Normally you get like a patch where it goes moderate. Yeah, it's just been one of those quiet mornings that you do get. But like I always say, right, it's not about how you do on every single individual shift. It's about your average over the long term. Oh, hello. Oh, that's a tasty one. One of the drops is Sainsbury's. The other one looks to be that McDonald's again. It's KFC. It's Sainsbury's and KFC, but they're really close to each other. They're in the same retail park. Combined distance for this entire trip, just over 4 miles, and it's paying just over 11 quid, which by all accounts is actually really, really good. So as long as there's no like 40-minute wait at KFC, I'm easily going to get this done in time. And £11 is just what I need right now. 5 bags, so quite a big order, but we don't mind. Not when we're getting 11 quid for this double. And presumably at this time, KFC aren't going to be like too busy. KFC is looking nice and dead, so I'm hoping this is ready. Who's put that there? Mission complete. It was ready, and that is ideal. I wouldn't have even minded a wait, considering what this is paying. There we go. This is just what we needed. No issues with those 2 pickups. And we've only got 1.5 miles from here to the first customer, and the second customer I know is close enough. Definitely in Taunton, from what I saw on the Uber map. I can't remember exactly where that second customer is off the top of my head, but I know that the map wasn't zooming off up to Bridgewater or over to Wellington or anything like that. But it's highly likely, actually, once this double's done, we might have time for one more. A short one. I'm not going to start doing any big journeys away from nursery, but if a suitable order comes in, we'll finish on that one. But it is getting to that point now where I need to be mindful. I can't be taking anything too far away, even if the pay's tempting, because I got to get to nursery to pick up my toddler. Take care. Cheers. No way. This second customer is 0.4 miles. Why was this order paying £11? I don't get it. What is it, man, with Uber's? I really do not get Uber's fee pricing algorithm. It just seems to just spit a random number out, doesn't it? This has been like the easiest double I've had in ages. Both customers really close. I thought at least the second customer had a little bit of distance. But then I guess, yeah, it was 4 miles from where I accepted it, and it was about 2 miles from there to Sainsbury's. Seeing that we're delivering this now, it's 12:05. That's 25 minutes of kind of, I can definitely be online and look at what's coming in, and hopefully something relatively short distance comes in. We can get that done before we finish. Yeah, I'm not unhappy with how this has turned out. Right, that Sainsbury's order drops off. Got me £11.06 for that double. No idea why I paid that much, but I'm pretty happy with that. That has gone some way to saving us on this shift. And would you look at that? This one not paying anywhere near as generously. 4.6 miles for £5.42. You can see the discrepancy. It's insane. But it is, yeah, it's from that Sainsbury's again, and it's heading towards nursery where I need to go by 1 o'clock. So I think we're going to finish on this one. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? I know it was a double, but less distance than this trip altogether from where I was offered it. I'm paying £11 as opposed to this one paying £5. And you can't tell me that £6 was added on just because it was a double. Uber don't do that. Uber will add on like a quid if they can, especially in a situation like that where both pickups were next to each other practically, and so were the customers. There's no way they'd be adding £6 on for that. It's so random, man. It makes no sense. As much as I love getting orders like that, I wish I understood, why it was paying that much. Can't argue with that. Easy pickup. It was ready. 2 small bags, nothing heavy. Just a nice order to finish the shift on. Obviously not paying as amazingly as that ridiculous double that we just did, but still a good order to nab just before the end of the shift. Get it done in plenty of time. We've got enough time to get to nursery, not going to be late. And certainly the last hour and a half that's gone really well is going to help us recover this shift, get our earnings back to a slightly more acceptable level, especially if you consider most of the time I'd be continuing working through the day into the evening, and it feels like today's warmed up a bit now. I think the earnings would have been fine. All right, here we are, our final customer, our final delivery of the shift. Thanks a lot.
Have a good day.
And you, take care. And we are done. All right, I will put the final numbers up on the screen for you now. I do want to get myself to nursery just so I'm there in plenty of time. So we're going to do a drive and talk. But as you can see, earlier on I was saying, oh, £60 before expenses, that's going to be tricky. I think at that point we had 2 hours to go and I was on £21. We ended up on over 55. So really close to what my sort of usual expectation is for 4 hours. And we actually did slightly less than 4 hours as well. Obviously we didn't quite hit that national living wage after expenses, but we were nowhere near what we ended up with earlier on in the shift. We recovered it massively. Anyway, that is it from me for today. Thank you for watching. As always, guys, it means a lot. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you all in the next one in a bit.